Hi guys, so the new setting is finally quite complete. We're having our new microphone, the new setup for recording, and the podcast is not quite there yet, but we will probably start in 1 to 2 weeks, giving you some exciting content. Today, we're starting with a little bit of a monologue, but of course, you're welcome to post all your questions and comments in the comments below. I'm going to talk about the brand new Lamborghini Revuelto and especially DMC's take on the car. I have to start probably a little bit before the Revuelto with the last big car, the last big project we were working on, and that was the Lamborghini Aventador. We usually starting with a stage one, which has like a couple of add-on things like the side skirts. And I'm pretty glad to say that Lamborghini did a pretty good job again on the Revuelto. There's some nice elements on the sides. I do estimate that probably standard orders of the first few cars will not have any carbon fiber at all. That's what they did back with the Aventador. So basically what that means, you had to order the car, but after a few months, then only then you were able to spec a new car with carbon fiber. Or what that meant for the first buyers, they had to buy all the options later, which usually comes at a premium. But like with the Aventador S, which already had beautiful side skirts, which, by the way, if you ask me, they look pretty much like the Lamborghini Aventador by DMC, the LP700 side skirts. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Lamborghini. The Revuelto goes in a similar direction. There's not too much to do. And while we so far only have performed some initial computer run simulations for the wind tunnel, they seem to do a pretty good job. Now, next step, we will later talk about stage 2 and stage 3, but let me quickly just go through a little bit with what we did for the stage 1 so we can talk more later in details about the other parts. If this becomes a video which is too long, we can as well do a second video or third video about the stage 2 and stage 3. So it's all up to you guys. Just leave me more comments down below. For the wing spoiler, even though it's just a stage 1, it's of course going to be add-on, aka replacement. Our goal is to have a replacement rear deck lid, just like we did for the Aventador. At the moment, we couldn't get our hands on the deck lid yet, so it's the first initial customers, let's call it the first series. I like what Mercedes-Benz is doing here. We're going to get the add-on wing for the DMC first series for our stage 1 Revuelto rear wing spoiler. But even though it's just a rear wing for the stage 1, we already have two choices that you can do. There was a newsletter that we published last year where we showed there's going to be a more elegant rear wing spoiler, which is going to take a lot of DNA influence from the SVJ. Personally, when I designed this kit, I love the SVJ so much, and I think these lines look very nicely on the Revuelto as well. And then we did a stage 2, you see, even I'm mixing up the words. And then we did a second wing for the stage 1, which is more massive, more like a GT3-esque Super Trophy wing, which we called Schumacher. Besides that, we didn't do too much. We added some front lip splitters. They again took a lot of DNA designed from the Aventador SVJ. They're going to be added onto the bumper, so usually there's no bumper swaps in stage 1s that DMC launch. This is something reserved for the limited editions that come later on. Again, they add on the left and on the right of the front bumper. They have two different levels. If you can see them here, if we have a picture to blend in, they're going to have a rear level, which is going to stay exposed carbon fiber, and the front level, which is probably 1 to 2 centimeters more outwards, giving the whole car a little bit slightly wider appearance. And we hope that people paint the outer parts in the carbon body. But you know what? Again, share some experience with you. In the past, most people just keep all the parts exposed carbon fiber. So I hope this time really people come and dare a little bit more and put a little bit of color more inside. I'm still waiting for some more people who paint their Aventador wings. I mean, we were planning to have at least the base painted, but pretty much 99.99% of all Aventadors out there with DMC have just all exposed carbon fibers. That is yet to say. There's currently a project going on in Bangkok which finally paints the whole rear wing spoiler. Not only the base as we expected to, but also the top I'm really much looking forward to this one. So much about the front lips. I hope, again, to repeat very quickly, that they are going to be painted on the outer level and kept exposed carbon on the inner level. On the rear diffuser, we have the larger fins option for the stage 1, but this is pretty much like this for our multi-veloce kit for the Revuelto, which, by the way, again, that we took the name from the DMC multi-veloce that we launched very early one for the Aventador. Here's a little Easter egg. Whoever followed us for a very long time or who's interested, I can tell you that the name, of course, Veloce comes from Lamborghini, but our first body kit, our first Aero package was actually for a Murcielago, and we called it Quattro Veloce. I think we're about 5 minutes in. If you guys good, we just go and continue on to the stage 2. For the stage 2, now we have way more aggressiveness going on. As you might have seen recently, we launched some first videos for the Lamborghini Revuelto package, and this includes a complete front bumper swap, a rear bumper, rear diffuser swap. It's massive. There's a whole new engine bonnet, a bigger, yet even bigger rear wing spoiler, all integrated into the car. And we're going a new way with this one, because this is going to be not a body kit that you can order from us, because since it's a limited edition, there's only going to be 10 cars in the whole world, and each of the cars has to become a different color. This is one of our requirements, that each car is uniquely different. Plus, we're going to set a quota, a global quota, that maybe we say, okay, there's one for Asia, one for North America, etc. You get the idea. And this is going to be a really, really crazy kit. But as I said, it's actually not going to be a kit that you can buy, but you have to purchase the car from us. So that means there's going to be 10 cars from DMC, 10 lucky owners who will be able to call one of these DMC Revueltos Edizione GTs of one of their own. Let's start to talk about the front bumper. We took elements here from the front bumper from the J, the Jota, the Aventador Jota. We already had a similar element shown on our second stage Aventador, which was called Spezialversion. You see the name game here, SV, but not Super Veloce, but Spezialversion, which is German and stands for special version. And we also have a completely, besides the top area of the bumper, this is basically a whole new front bumper. The grille in the middle is changed. There's a wider, much further extruded, you could nearly call it a frontlet, but it's actually integrated into the front bumper. Way more aggressive for this one, giving you a lot of additional downforce, which you're going to need, because this car is coming, or is planned to come, with a very aggressive engine performance upgrade as well. Then when we're looking at the rear, here's where it's going to become especially crazy. Oh no, but hold on, let's talk a little bit more about the front. The front has a whole new front bonnet. And look at these two massive air inlets here. Naturally, they're connected to the front bumper, similar as you might have seen with the recent Huracan STO Super Trofeo Omologate. The air is going to be air active, going to be transported through the front bumper outside of these massive, let's call it air channel holes in the front hood. But as you can see, they are more to the left and more to the right. That means your front compartment, if you can call it that, there's probably not going to be too much space anyway, but we are going to save whatever is there so that you don't need to miss out on the little space that Lamborghini gave you here initially. Now it's really time to move a little bit more to the back, and here we have this, again, a little bit SVJ style rear wing spoiler, but it's way more than this. Now we love to take DNAs from previous DNA cars, from previous DMC as well as Lamborghini designs, because we don't want the car to look like something has been slapped on, something has been like just kitted on. We want people to see our aspirations would be if somebody would see the car on the road and say, okay, this is something from Lamborghini, isn't it? Maybe a limited edition from Lamborghini. It has not been tuned or modified by someone. This is what we tried, what we aspire to, what we thrive towards to. So we took a lot of inspiration from the SC18. It was a one-off Lamborghini Aventador, and you can see the rear wing spoiler is actually not just added on, it is actually part of the rear fenders. It's also connected on the front hood, and on the front hood itself is very aggressive with a lot of air openings here, giving another Super Trofeo-esque appearance. But there's more than that. There's even a front hood scoop on top of the car, which is again not just for form but also for function. It's actually connected to that brand new front rear engine hood that we developed, giving additional cooling and also extrusion for the engine, which is strongly needed for the stronger package that we're developing for this car. And do I dare to say not too much about the rear diffuser, rear bumper? I think this is something you just have to look at it by yourself, let it melt into your imagination where this all comes from. We basically deleted left, center, and right part of the rear bumper because that's what Lamborghini does with their Super Veloces previously. We've seen it on the Diablo, on the Murcielago SV, on the Aventador SV, SVJ. So you get more openings, more extrusion where the heat can come out. We did this as well. If you remember, the regular Revuelto is closed there. So this is open now. It looks way more aggressive if you ask me. Again, leave me your comments down below. Let me know what you think about our new design here, about my design. By the way, I come up with all these designs, but of course we have a team in the background that helps me to professionally sketch these out. I come up with the ideas, they professionally do the 2D sketches, further on going into 3D designs, and sometimes, again, it has to be form and function, so sometimes we have an idea how it could look like, but it actually doesn't work out that way. So it has to be form and function is very important, but this one certainly is form and function. And then there's the massive rear diffuser underneath it again, which is a very strong inspiration from a DMC car. Actually, let me know if you can find out which one this is. There was a concept car that we developed, which was called the Unica, one of one ever development. It was developed or conceived for a very special customer in Hong Kong. If you can find it on the internet, actually I believe we have never even posted some of these pictures by ourselves. There's some leaked photos on some media from South China Morning Post. You can go back, search for DMC, and then we gladly took this front bumper design and put it onto our limited edition Revuelto here. I think for today, that's probably it. We are now at the 13-minute mark. I don't want to bore you too much. Let me know in future what you think about these kind of behind-the-scenes talk from the designer, from the CEO about what we're doing, and give me some points in which direction we should further go. As I said, we're also going to do a podcast, which is not just a monologue as we did today here, but it's also going to be more chilled, more relaxed with some of our friends and partners talking about the industry, especially, of course, with supercars, hypercars in mind, but from a tuning and design perspective. And yeah, let me say thank you so much for watching this today. I don't want to say that you endured it. I hope you enjoyed it, but I am aware that we have a long way to go for these new content concepts, and I'm very glad that you're here until the very end. Thank you so much, and I'll hope to see not only all your comments, but also see you again for the next video. Bye for now.